In today's video, I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. So right guys, so if you haven't guessed, today's video is going to be about how to do the short shift on your 020 gearbox. Golf Mark 3, Mark 2 and Mark 1, it's more or less the same kind of system. So with this, the gear linkage, which is the rod change gearbox, which is the 020 gearbox. This doesn't refer to the cable change gearboxes. All right, so before we actually start removing anything, cutting and welding, all right guys, so I've made a jig here with some tape measure to show you guys the before and after. A tape measure to the handbrake cable and set it up at 20. So it's at 20 at the moment, which is the center point. Luckily, there's actually very little play in this gear linkage. Some gear linkages can be really, really worn. So I think before you actually do this is maybe replace all the bushes or do it at the same time. Replace all the bushes. So now we're going to go for the front throw, which goes to 14. So it has a movement of 60 mil and it should be the same on the return. Yep, it goes to 26. So it has a total throw from 14 to 26, which is 120 mil. So let's see now how much we can shorten this by and still not lose too much of the feel. Because if you shorten it too much, it doesn't feel very nice. A reduction in 30% to this, I think is really quite nice. All right guys, so this is the bit that we're going to be removing, which is going to be the weight. So the first thing we're going to do is there's these two little clips that hold the rod in place at each end. And we just pull the weight out. That's what you call the shift weight. I mean, you can also add these onto Mark 2s. You can also add this to a Mark 1, but you need to actually cut it and extend it because I think the gear linkage is slightly different because the subframe or where it mounts is different. And this is the rod that we need to remove, which is only a 113 at the back there that holds it in place. Okay, so this is the bit that you need to remove. With the 13, as you can see, it's got like a one-way notch that you put on. So this is basically what we're going to extend. I've taken the bush out because obviously this is plastic, it will melt with the heat of the welder. So I've removed that, it's quite easy to do. Now the bit we're going to cut is this flat area here. We're not going to mess around with this here. We're going to basically cut this here and then extend it by putting this rod, which I found, which is a similar thickness. It's slightly thicker than this, but it's the closest I had laying around. And I've measured 30 mil basically. So I'm going to extend this here by 30 mil. I'm going to cut it and weld it in the middle. Now, I'm going to put up a graph here of what the ratio is, of what changes. The more you add here, what it removes on your shifter on the inside. Hopefully you'll find this table quite helpful and you can then judge 30% or so can feel the best and feel really kind of nice and positive still. If you go too short, it cannot be actually a very nice gear change, but that's totally up to you guys. I've put the information here. You guys can pick what you want. My recommendation would be to add 30 mil like I've done here, which is a nice reduction. So this is basically what it's going to look like with the bit added onto it, the 30 mil. Now, what I like to do, some people, you can still just weld this and you can get good penetration, but I like to actually grind these down to a point. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to remove this bit. Okay, so that process is done, as you can see. Take this off the magnet. Grind it down to a point on both sides. And there you go, I've just run 2 beads of weld on the top side. Now I'm going to wait for it to cool, flip it around, weld the other side. So after a second going over with the wire brush, looks even better. Actually ended up going with silver, that's what I had laying around. So let's get this fitted onto the car now. So I can show you guys what difference it actually makes. So now as you can see, this is 24 instead of where it was before at 26. And then the forward throw is at 16. Now we have a total throw from front to back of 80 mil. So it's a 40 mil reduction in actual throw, which to me is, I think, the best. So hopefully these last 5 or 6 minutes, quick and easy, showed you how to do the short shift on your Golf Mark 3 with the 020 rod gearbox change. Likes are free, subscriptions are free, so please support the channel, help me make more videos like this, and have a great 2022, guys.